Central Ohio is booming. 1 million more people are expected to move to this region in the coming decades. Here at 10 TV, we are committed to covering this rapid growth and how it impacts your everyday life. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. More tech hubs popping up in the region. A brand new Microsoft data center now being built in New Albany, but some locals aren't too excited. Plus, Central Ohio is facing a housing crisis, but in one neighborhood, more and more homes are popping up. We have the mixed reactions to the changes. And with a booming population comes a need for more officers to protect them. See how one county is making sure it has resources to protect the public. Thanks for joining us on This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. Some big news for big tech in Central Ohio. This week, the Building Chips in America Act was officially signed into law. We'll tell you all about that in just a few moments. But first, as Central Ohio leaders work to attract tech giants, they are also trying to attract startup talent. Last month, I traveled to another boomtown city in the South, Austin, Texas. I learned why entrepreneurs are attracted to the Silicon Hills and what the Silicon Heartland has to do to keep up.
70% of the startups who make it.
Mia Ong says moving to Texas from California was a no-brainer.
A lot of the big tech people started moving out to Austin or other places where they could have more benefits like no income tax, more space.
Now, 3 years later, as a chapter director for Startup Grind in Austin, Mia says the beauty of remote work allows her to base a company where it benefits her bottom line the best.
It's not weird to have an entirely distributed workforce. And when you think about it that way, why would I have my business in a state that isn't, well, you know, isn't like tax friendly? And the only reason I would have kept it in California, again, is if I was like anchored to the employees that needed to be in California, and there's ways around that now.
The state of Ohio is hoping to attract people like Mia with multiple incentives.
And I worked out of my attic for about 4 years, so the early funding was really huge for us.
The Ohio Third Frontier program provides loans to early-stage investment funds that in turn support Ohio-based startups. 10 TV has learned approximately $110 million will provide new venture capital funds matched one-on-one by private capital specifically for tech startups. For young entrepreneurs like Rich Fortune,
I'm the co-founder of Hang Tight.
Access to investors is what attracted him to Austin.
We're a fast-growing app for college students.
Over other boomtowns.
I have great friends who are in their late 60s, early 70s who have the startup bug, and Austin is a great place to be encouraged by that. You can get your initial cluster of users. There's a great set of angel investors, great set of venture capital firms here.
And he's exactly the tech crowd the state of Ohio is working overtime to build up. Just this month, Ohio launched its third innovation hub in the state, bringing a total investment of $125 million to Akron, Dayton, and Toledo. Mia says while the infusion of cash and support helps, creating a vibe like what Austin has is what will incubate her startup into success.
I would say that for me, coming in new, having a very intentional community of people, finding your tribe in all of this noise was what helped anchor me and fall in love with the city some more. Now, to see more behind the scenes of our Boomtown trip to Texas, you can watch our new special, Why Austin? It's streaming now on 10 TV Plus, and you can watch it for free with the 10 TV app. Well, now to the Building Chips in America Act. This week, President Biden signed it into law. Lawmakers say it means fewer delays to government reviews for microchip manufacturing in Central Ohio. And that is good news for Intel as that tech giant expands. Now, Intel recently landed two big contracts, a partnership with Amazon to build AI chips and a $3 billion deal with the federal government to make chips for the military. Licking County, though, is not the only booming community here in Central Ohio. Delaware is also planning for a big future. The second annual Delaware County Economic Summit took place this week. Officials from all over the state met to talk about the recent growth and also the challenges for Delaware County businesses and how they're facing that growth. Don Ranke is the Delaware County Treasurer, and he says the Intel chip facility will have a major impact even from an entire county away.
I was so excited about Intel is a huge positive situation for all of Ohio, but Central Ohio and Delaware County is tremendously affected by it. And we've been the fastest growing county. Intel is going to push that a lot harder in regards to folks working there but wanting to live in Delaware County.
Now, other Ohio leaders also had business on the brain this week. Lieutenant Governor John Husted spoke at an event about Ohio's future, and he says in the next 25 years, technology will change dramatically and rapidly.
We do know it's coming, so as a state, we have to embrace it by making sure our teachers are prepared to look at AI, but making sure our students are interacting with it, making sure that we have broadband to connect everybody in this state to those technologies so that they can participate in the modern economy, education, and workforce systems.
And this week, the Ohio Chamber of Commerce also hosted a future forum showcasing what new technology will look like in the coming years. It included new technologies in energy, entertainment, also currency and automobiles, even flying taxis. Ohio leaders say the pace of change will be dramatic in the coming decades, with technology enhancing and also disrupting our current ways of life. They say with big tech companies creating operations in Columbus, Central Ohio is at the heart of that change.
But now we're back on the rise, and it's because we've learned how to integrate technology into manufacturing so that we can do Made in America, and you can't do Made in America without Made in Ohio, and we want to keep it that way.
Well, now to another huge tech investment in Central Ohio. Microsoft planning to build a massive data center on 200 acres. The New Albany City Council approved a tax break for the tech giant. No property taxes on that building for 15 years. It is the latest massive investment in technology here in Central Ohio, joining many companies like Intel, but also Amazon and Google. All of that playing a role into turning Ohio into the Silicon Heartland and contributing to Central Ohio's explosive growth. But these data centers absorb massive amounts of electricity, and they provide very few jobs. 10 TV's Colin Dorsey has a closer look at those concerns.
There's already construction on that side of Beach Road, and soon it'll be the same on this side. This 200 acres of empty space is set to be the home of Microsoft's next project. And for some, the energy and resource use isn't the only concern they have. The wheels of progress continue to turn in Central Ohio, but that progress rarely happens without disrupting those around it. The sounds of a massive construction project echo through this subdivision, built long before any of this was out here. Now Microsoft's project will box them in on the other side. People living in a few of these homes told me they're not happy with the noise and the change of scenery to their once secluded neighborhood.
What was all of this like when you first got here?
Cornfields. That's it.
A bit farther down the road, Erica Dietzel owns an old farmhouse. Over the decades, she's seen everything grow up around her property, and it doesn't really bother her.
There's nothing you can do about it. And like every change, we don't like it as human beings, but maybe in the end, it's going to be okay for the better.
While her house and land are now for sale, she's coped with the noise in the buildings by planting scores of trees to block it out.
I have 175 arborvitaes I planted all around, and pine trees, so I really don't care what they do.
Data centers also consume a lot of power. According to real estate company Newmark, the largest consume enough electricity to power 80,000 homes. That requires new infrastructure by AEP, and the power company wants them to pay for almost all of the projected power usage for the first 10 years of operation, even if they don't use it. AEP's argument is that if companies like Google, Microsoft, and Facebook pull out of a project, it will put the cost burden of these infrastructure upgrades on their residential and business customers. Now let's talk about jobs. Once these massive projects are finished, it really doesn't take a lot of people to keep them going. Microsoft says once complete, this will employ at minimum 30 people. In New Albany, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
Colin, thank you. Now, it seems more people are coming and going into Central Ohio. The Columbus Regional Airport Authority says this summer has been the busiest ever. The Airport Authority released new numbers this week showing John Glenn Columbus International Airport and Rickenbacker International both breaking summer travel records. More than 2.5 million passengers flying in and out of the region.
This summer, travel season surpassed last year's volume by 8%. And this comes at a time where CMH is expanding to meet that growing demand. The expansion includes a new terminal, 3 concourses, and 7 additional gates. It also includes a large security entrance to cut down on those long lines. Construction should start later this year, and the new facility will hold up to 13 million passengers every year. Well, with more people here in Central Ohio comes a need for more officers to protect them. One local sheriff's office is making sure it is ready. This year, the Licking County Sheriff's Office hosted its first ever cadet class. 10 TV's Lacey Crisp explains the plan to keep the public safe as the region grows.
You may begin.
These are the newest Licking County Sheriff's deputies.
2, 3, 4.
These 15 cadets are learning not just from any instructor.
Your hands to your side, looking down. You're going to count out loud like this.
All the instructors at COTC themselves are local. They're all retired. They've been here for law enforcement 20 plus years. And having our people come in and train us, getting to know their faces, is huge.
Garrett Moss is born and raised in the area. He went away for 4 years to serve in the Army and is back now, serving in a different role.
See everyone that I know and be a part of them and helping protect them and the community that I live in is huge.
He is in the first ever Licking County Sheriff's Office cadet class, and they just graduated.
It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this very special and unique graduation ceremony.
Licking County is growing with the rest of Central Ohio.
Everyone talks about Intel, but it's Intel plus. There's other companies coming to the area. The more people are coming to this area. Columbus is kind of starting to grow our way. We just got to be prepared for the growth.
The need was so great for additional deputies, the department decided to hold its own class.
We have a shortage of law enforcement officers across Ohio and across the country.
The benefit about having our own is a couple-fold. One is we can train our people the way we want to have them trained. We can train them on, when we do report writing, we can train them on our software systems. When we do different crime scene things, we can train them on the technology that we use.
The Licking County Sheriff's Office has already hired 7 new deputies for the year. That means when these 15 new deputies get done with field training, they'll have 22 additional deputies.
With all that growth, we just need to be able to staff our patrol division.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the newest members of the Licking County Sheriff's Office.
While the Sheriff's Office builds staff for the future growth to protect and serve, the department is also looking to possibly build new substations to have those deputies spread across the county as it rapidly increases in population.
You need to start talking now so in 5 years we can implement those plans.
Seeking solutions for future growth.
We're very, very lucky. I'm very lucky. Just the experience in total has been amazing.
In Licking County, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
And now to one Columbus neighborhood where more new homes are popping up. We're talking about Franklinton. It is the new reality as that part just west of downtown Columbus booms. 10 TV's Colin Dorsey went to that neighborhood this week and spoke with people about how that growth is affecting them. Here's what Colin found.
Change in Franklinton continues to push westward. That crane working on a new apartment complex, while this billboard advertises 50 new homes being built north of West Broad Street. It's a sign of the times, and for some, this change is a welcome sight to the neighborhood.
A long time ago, I told a lot of the people over here, I said, listen, this was the first Franklinton. This is Franklinton. I said, y'all, it is going to change.
And change it has. New development pushes up to boarded up buildings. It's a tale of 2 Franklintons. This new house, listed at nearly $375,000, sits next to a home that hasn't seen a resident in a long time.
So now,
at 85, Pauline Edwards has called Central Ohio's oldest community home for the better part of 40 years. She's watched families come and go, and she's glad to see something happening, but recognizes the change isn't easy for everyone.
Things can't stay the same always. And some of the people that I have talked to over here, I say, you know, you got to remember, where there's change, it's not change free.
Sweeney's Walnut Street Tavern. It was an effort to save the old house and bring new life to this little forgotten corner of the neighborhood.
Jim Sweeney is one of the change makers of Franklinton. He's been in the neighborhood since 2002, once leading the neighborhood's development association. His tavern is an effort to save some of the past while also moving it forward.
Save the old house from the development pressure that's pushing on us right now. And we're going to do it all up and down this block.
A raccoon graces the sign outside. They're survivors, and he says it's only fitting one be the mascot of sorts for the new tavern and the row of houses it sits alongside.
What would you like to see in Franklinton for the future?
I would like to see Franklinton be a neighborhood that everybody can be part of and live the best lives in this community.
He says change is going to happen, but it's about making sure that it's done so that there's a spot for everyone, including the people who already live here. In Franklinton, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
Well, from owning a home to renting, the Community Shelter Board reports rent is up 34% in Central Ohio since 2017. That higher cost of living mixed with inflation means some families are struggling to make ends meet. Nationwide Children's Hospital is helping bridge that gap with rental support. It's all part of their Healthy Homes initiative, which was awarded a $5 million grant this week by the Franklin County Commissioners. Patty McClyman with Nationwide says many families struggle to make rent when they're faced with unexpected emergencies like an illness or a car repair.
Families try very hard to save, but it is very difficult to save, particularly in today's environment with high rents, high inflation. And so the idea of having a emergency rental assistance program is focused on those one-time events that can be ameliorated and not create this longer-term debt for the family.
Now, this grant is also focused on developing affordable housing in Linden. This is the second round of funding that's focused on redeveloping that North Columbus neighborhood. Last year, Nationwide used the money to help build 30 affordable rentals in Linden and also 31 home repairs. The affordable rentals are priced below market value at $868 a month. McClyman also says the hospital is going even bigger this year. They have now acquired land on Innes Road, where the old Zettler Hardware building is located in North Columbus. That hospital will use that land to build a multi-family unit with up to 200 affordable units. McClyman says that is just one solution.
We are at risk for increased homelessness because we don't have enough units as we continue to grow jobs. So growing jobs is a fantastic thing. It's needed in the community, but so are new homes. And my understanding of part of the reason that home prices have gone up so much is that it's supply and demand. We have not built the supply to meet the demand.
Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther tells us that the region needs another 200,000 housing units to maintain current day affordability. We are currently building about half of what we need every year. Well, Central Ohio leaders are looking for every solution to the affordable housing crisis, especially for the vulnerable populations like our older neighbors. As part of that solution, the city of Columbus is now creating an affordable housing community just for seniors. 10 TV's Kristen McFarland shows us what's in the works.
This empty lot off Obetz Road may not look like much now.
You want to throw some dirt?
But come next year,
1, 2, 3.
A place for over 80 senior citizens to call home.
We're going to target incomes anywhere between 30 and 80% of area median gross income.
Juniper Crossing Affordable Senior Housing is a collaboration with city, state, and federal agencies.
Very much underserved, high demand.
Implementing Ohio's new workforce housing tax credit program to help expand affordable housing in the state. With around 80 seniors expected to live here on this property, I want to show you just how close this senior advocacy center is right here. That'll offer all those who live here with a variety of support and resources.
The number one challenge that we're hearing about right now is housing and the lack of affordable housing.
What makes these challenges a little bit different for seniors?
They're working on, or living on, a fixed income, and as the cost of living and rent and utilities continues to go up, there really isn't a way for individuals to be earning more to keep up with that pace.
In South Columbus, Kristen McFarland, 10 TV News.
Well, if you are someone with a vested interest in Columbus and Central Ohio, whether you've been here your entire life or just moved to the area, you'll want to watch our 10 TV Plus original Welcome to Boomtown. It's now available streaming on 10 TV Plus. I'm Angela Ann, and thanks for watching This Week in Boomtown.